Hey guys, Liz Cohen here, coming at you with my favorite answer to the dreaded interview question, what's your greatest weakness? It's such a nail biter. I hate this question. I'm sure you do too. Who likes it? And yet, once you understand why you're being asked this question, what your interviewer is trying to learn, and the steps you need to follow to craft your own compelling answer, you will start to feel so much more confident walking into your interviews, knowing that you're ready to knock this question out of the park. So, what you've got to wrap your head around before we dive into those 5 steps is why you're being asked this question. Your interviewer is not looking for you to fail in this question. They're not looking for you to be perfect or for you to not have any weaknesses. That's not the point. What they're looking for is self-awareness, right? And they're looking to see, how do you address the perfectly human experience of being stronger in some areas than others? So you don't want to give one of the following answers that trip up job seekers all the time. You don't want to say something like, I just can't think of any right now, right? Self-awareness out the window. You don't want to say something like, I don't have any weaknesses, right? Because we're all human, we've all got them. And you don't want to say something that is a strength and then pretend that it's a weakness. Something like, I'm a perfectionist, or I just work too hard, because those kinds of answers come off as evasive or inauthentic, and they don't answer this core question of, how do you address challenges? So here are the 5 steps to building your dynamite response to this question that will be authentic, that will be compelling, and that will set you up to get this job. So first things first, you want to think of something you've been trying to improve in at work. That's your weakness that you're going to speak about. So maybe it's your technical skills in a particular area, or maybe it's your organization skills, your ability to deal with tough personalities in the office. Maybe it's the quickness with which you bounce back from failure. But whatever you choose, you want to make sure that it's something that you're actively aware of and working on improving today. Okay, so step 2, you want to do a quick litmus test about whether this particular weakness might make you a bad fit for the job. For instance, let's say you're going for a project manager position and you've chosen the weakness that you are terrible at managing multiple projects simultaneously, which is a core part of being a project manager. So not only will sharing that kind of red flag weakness hurt your chances of landing the job, if that really is a weakness of yours, it's worth taking a moment to ask yourself, is this the right job for you to go after? Or do you want to invest a little bit more time and energy in improving that aspect of yourself and your credentials before you're going after these kinds of jobs? But that said, if you've chosen to go after this job, my assumption as a career coach is that you've got the skills that you need to go after it, and also that you can continue to grow and learn what it takes to be successful once you are in that role. So just give that quick little litmus test to make sure that you're not pointing out any red flags when you're answering this question. Step number 3, you're going to clearly state that weakness with clarity and ownership. So when you get asked what's your greatest weakness, don't beat around the bush. Give it to them straight. You're going to say, I'd say my greatest weakness is that I struggle with blank, and then fill in the blank. So for instance, you might say, I have struggled speaking up in team meetings when I thought my opinion might cause conflict with other members of my team. And you're going to describe it just a tiny bit, the impact that it's had on your team. So for instance, this has led to some of our projects not going as quickly or as smoothly as they could have had I had the courage to speak my mind in those team meetings. So you're going to give it to them straight. And then you can quickly shift to step 4. This is my favorite step because you get to use my magical pivot phrase, but I will say. What's great about this pivot phrase is that you can use it in response to any challenge question that you face in an interview, because it allows you to shift and pivot from sharing some negative information and pivot into sharing the positive silver lining that you want your interviewer to remember. So step number 5, after you use the pivot phrase, you're going to detail how you've been working on this weakness and why it won't be an issue on your future team. right? So reinforcing the fact that you are a proactive person who spots opportunities to improve, works diligently to improve them, and make sure that they don't come between your team and success. So step number 5, following the "but I will say" pivot phrase, might sound something like, this is an issue that I am highly aware of and something that I've been working really hard on. I've been pushing myself to be more courageous in meetings and speak up when I know it's important, and also find alternative ways to pull aside members of my team and make sure that they have the information that I need to share with them so that we can be successful. I plan on continuing to bring these practices to work with me every day when I join your team at Blackwell. So those are the 5 steps in action and how to craft your own compelling response to what's your greatest weakness. And I know this is all good stuff for those of you who are landing interviews, but if you're struggling to land those interviews, then it's definitely time to take a good hard look at your job search strategy and make sure you're doing all the right things to bring in those consistent interviews week to week. Click below, I've got a cheat sheet with my top 10 tips for landing more interviews and offers in today's job market. And if you liked this video, please hit a thumbs up, hit subscribe, or feel free to leave in the comments another interview question you want addressed in a future video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.